Hey, I'm Tara Stiles, and today I'm going to show you guys some yoga poses that you can do for your hamstrings. This is a great routine I put together that you can do either before a workout or after a workout or even on its own just to loosen up the hamstrings and really get into those muscles deeper. First thing you can do is just come into a long straight lunge, and then from there, if this is really painful for you, you can always use blocks as props, and you can just straighten your front leg, and you can either bring your hands to the ground or bring your hands up on the block, and then you're just going to work your torso over your front leg there. And also make sure not to round over so you're just working your shoulders towards your leg. You really want to work from your lower back folding all the way down flat that way. And then just make sure to do the other side. And you can also, if it's really hard, you can use the blocks on the high setting or the lower setting or just using the floor. But remember, the main thing to do is to bend from your waist and your hips instead of your shoulders and your head, because that won't really help your hamstrings. And the next thing to do from there is just switch legs again into a lunge, and then you can bring your back foot in a little bit and square your foot off to the side. And just straighten both legs again, and you can also use the blocks or bring your hands on the ground, and then just again stretching all the way over that front leg and making sure to breathe really deep here. Another great thing to think about is every time you exhale to allow your torso to move closer to your front leg. So breathing really deep and just letting it relax over your front leg each time will be a really great way to ease into that stretch and to get deeper into your hamstring. And then just make sure to switch sides. The next thing I like to call a fake split. So you can just bring your back foot around to actually the outside of your right hand, and then you're just going to flex your front foot and push it off to the diagonal. So you're getting a nice long stretch in your hamstring and all along the back of your leg extended out through your heel, but you're not in a full split. So you get the advantage of not keeping your hips square and still getting a nice, more feel-goody stretch along your hamstring. And then just try to do the other side. And also for this, make sure you keep your back up really straight so you can press into the ground here. And so just making sure you're not collapsing over into the ground to get your leg further. It's all about just keeping your back straight and then letting that foot lengthen out to the diagonal. And then after you've had enough of that, just push back into downward dog. So next you're going to try a full split, and don't be intimidated if you can't do a full split because you have your blocks. So you're just going to bring your right foot forward all the way in between your hands and flex your front foot, and you can actually just come up onto the blocks and just slide your foot as forward as far as you can, and just make sure to breathe there. Don't worry about the picture of getting into a full split if that's a problem for you. Just try to get into the stretch and breathe there. And just come out of that and push back into a downward dog. And then try the other side. Important thing to think of is keeping your hips square. So you don't want to have your hips splaying out to each side. You want to try to keep your hips as square as you can. So try to be more honest with yourself and not letting your hips square out, and just keeping, you probably get to be a little higher off the ground, and that's all right. So just keep breathing there and you'll get more out of the stretch. Then just push back into downward dog. Now for a cool down, we're going to do a couple seated forward bends. So just come to sit up really tall and bringing your feet straight out in front of you and bringing one leg in, bent, and you're just going to sit up really straight, stretching your arms up and reaching out all the way over your front foot. One thing to remember here is not to round over forward with your shoulders, so you're going to make sure the bend is coming from your lower back. And you can breathe here for 5, 10, 20 breaths, whatever feels good for you. And then just come on all the way out of that, and then just switch sides. Reaching all the way up, and then coming all the way over your other leg again. And remember again, each time you exhale, to let your torso relax a little bit further and deeper over your front leg. And that'll make it a lot easier. And then just come all the way up. And the last one is just bring both feet straight out in front of you, and you're just going to reach all the way up. And then from your back, coming all the way over your front legs, and you can reach for your feet. And if you always can't reach your feet, you can always grab a towel and reach around like that. It's a nice adjustment. And then just make sure to breathe there for about 5, 10 or more breaths. And then come all the way up. So that's yoga for your hamstrings, and I hope it helped your hamstrings.